You wake up every morning, go to work, come home, pay your bills, and wonder, why does it feel like you're running on a treadmill, working harder every year but never actually getting ahead? Here's the answer that will change how you see money forever. You're not poor because you don't earn enough. You're not poor because the economy is rigged against you. You are poor, or staying poor, because you're spending your money on things that look like assets, but are silently, systematically, and ruthlessly draining your wealth every single day. These are fake assets. And in 2026, millions of people are holding them right now, convinced they are building something, while their real financial future quietly collapses. Today, we are going to name all 12 of them, and by the end of this video, I guarantee you will look at your own financial life differently. Welcome to Global Economy Today. If this is your first time here, this channel exists to cut through the noise and give you the financial truth that the mainstream rarely tells you. Subscribe right now and hit the notification bell, because every video on this channel is designed to move your financial life forward. Now let's get into it. First, let's establish the single most important concept in all of personal finance, because without it, nothing else in this video will make sense. A real asset puts money into your pocket. A fake asset takes money out of your pocket, while making you feel wealthy in the process. That definition comes from one of the most important financial frameworks ever articulated, and it is brutally simple. The problem is that the entire consumer economy is built to make fake assets look, feel, and sound like real ones. Advertising, social media, cultural pressure, and status signaling have created a world where fake assets are everywhere. And real assets are deliberately made to seem boring, unglamorous, and out of reach for ordinary people. They are not out of reach, but you have to be able to recognize the trap before you can escape it. Fake asset number one, your car. This is the biggest, most expensive, most universally accepted financial trap in modern society. The average American spends over $700 a month on car payments alone in 2026, before insurance, fuel, maintenance, and depreciation. A new car loses between 15 and 25% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. Within 5 years, most cars are worth less than half of what was paid for them. A car does not generate income, it generates expenses. It is a liability dressed up as a necessity. And for most people, the car they drive is far more expensive than they need it to be. The wealth you could build by driving a reliable, affordable used car versus financing a new one over a working lifetime is staggering. Transportation is necessary. A depreciating $50,000 financed vehicle is not. Fake asset number two, a house you cannot afford. Wait, isn't a house a real asset? This is one of the most misunderstood questions in personal finance, and the answer is nuanced. A home you own outright in a location with growing demand, with reasonable carrying costs, that can be a real asset. But a house that consumes 40% or more of your monthly income in mortgage, taxes, insurance, and maintenance is a liability, regardless of what the market value does on paper. If it takes money out of your pocket every month and leaves you cash poor, it is not working for you. It is working against you. The myth that home ownership is always the right financial move has kept millions of people house rich and cash poor, unable to invest, unable to build liquidity, unable to withstand any financial disruption whatsoever. Fake asset number three, whole life insurance sold as an investment. Life insurance is a real and important tool for protecting your family. But whole life insurance, packaged and sold as an investment vehicle, is one of the most expensive and inefficient ways to grow wealth ever created. The fees are enormous. The returns are modest. The complexity is intentional. The overwhelming majority of independent financial experts recommend term life insurance for protection and separate, low-cost investment vehicles for wealth building. The combination almost always outperforms whole life insurance by a significant margin. Yet the insurance industry has successfully sold whole life as a wealth-building asset to millions of families who would have been dramatically better served by a different approach. Fake asset number four, timeshares. There's almost nothing in the world of personal finance with a worse financial profile than a timeshare. You pay a large upfront cost for the right to use a property for a week or two per year. You pay annual maintenance fees that increase every year regardless of whether you use it. The resale value is essentially zero. The secondary market for timeshares is so weak that companies exist specifically to help people get out of them, often for a fee. Timeshares are aggressively marketed as vacation real estate, a piece of paradise you own. They are not. They are an expensive, inflexible, depreciating obligation that the industry has successfully dressed up in the language of real estate investment. Fake asset number five, lottery tickets and gambling. The lottery is mathematically one of the worst financial decisions a human being can make on a regular basis. The expected return on a lottery ticket is a fraction of its cost. The house always wins in gambling. These are not controversial statements. They are mathematical facts. But here's the insidious part. Lottery tickets and gambling are disproportionately purchased by people in lower income brackets, people who can least afford to lose, and they are consistently marketed in the language of hope, possibility, and life-changing wealth. The lottery has been described as a tax on people who are bad at math. That is harsh, but the numbers support it. Every dollar spent on lottery tickets is a dollar that could have been invested in something with a positive expected return. Fake asset number 6, designer goods and luxury items bought on credit. A watch does not appreciate. A handbag does not generate income. Designer clothing does not build equity. These are consumption goods. And there is nothing inherently wrong with enjoying them if you can genuinely afford them. But buying luxury goods on credit to signal status that you have not yet earned financially is one of the most destructive patterns in modern consumer culture. The social media economy has made this dramatically worse. People are financing lifestyles they cannot afford in order to project wealth they do not have to audiences who are doing exactly the same thing. The result is a generation of people who look wealthy and are quietly drowning in debt. Fake asset number 7, the latest technology, repeatedly upgraded, smartphones, laptops, gaming systems, smart home devices. The technology industry has perfected the art of creating artificial urgency around upgrades that, in most cases, provide marginal real-world improvement over the previous model. The phone you bought 2 years ago works, but the cultural pressure, amplified by advertising and social comparison, pushes millions of people to upgrade constantly, spending hundreds or thousands of dollars per year on technology that depreciates immediately and generates no return whatsoever. This is not an argument against technology. It is an argument against the reflexive, habitual, emotionally driven upgrade cycle that drains enormous amounts of wealth from ordinary people over time. Fake asset number 8, subscription services you no longer use. This one operates almost invisibly. Streaming services, gym memberships, software subscriptions, meal kit deliveries, monthly boxes of products. The subscription economy has been masterfully engineered to extract small amounts of money so consistently and quietly that most people have no idea how much they are spending in total. Studies in 2026 show that the average household significantly underestimates their monthly subscription spend, often by 50% or more. These small recurring charges feel painless individually. Collectively, they represent hundreds or thousands of dollars per year that could be building real wealth. Audit your subscriptions. Right now, cancel everything you're not actively and consistently using. The cumulative impact over 10 years, invested instead of spent, is life-changing. Fake asset number 9, an expensive education that doesn't deliver returns. Education is one of the most powerful investments a human being can make. But not all education is equal. And the idea that any degree from any institution at any price is automatically a good investment has been one of the most expensive myths of the last 30 years. Hundreds of thousands of people are carrying student loan debt for degrees that do not command salaries sufficient to repay them. The debt is real. The credential is real. But if the economic return doesn't exceed the cost, including the opportunity cost of time and money, it is not a financial asset. It is a financial burden. This does not mean education is not valuable. It means the financial analysis of educational investment must be done honestly, not emotionally. Fake asset number 10, speculative investments mistaken for strategy. Meme stocks, obscure cryptocurrencies, hot tips from social media, NFTs. In every generation, there's a class of speculative instruments that captures the imagination of ordinary investors during a bull market and destroys wealth when reality reasserts itself. Speculation is not investing. Speculation is gambling with extra steps and better marketing. Real investing is based on fundamentals, time horizons, and the compounding of real economic value. Speculation is based on the belief that someone else will pay more tomorrow than you paid today, a belief that is sometimes right and often catastrophically wrong. In 2026, the landscape is littered with the financial wreckage of people who mistook a hot speculative market for a wealth-building strategy. Fake asset number 11, a business that runs you instead of you running it. Owning a business is one of the most powerful paths to real wealth ever created. But a business that demands all of your time, generates no equity, pays you less than you could earn working for someone else, and has no value without your personal presence is not an asset. It is a job, with worse hours and more risk. The distinction that matters is whether your business can generate value and income independently of your constant personal involvement. A real business asset creates systems, builds equity, and can be scaled or sold. A glorified self-employment situation is a trap that many entrepreneurs fall into, mistaking being busy for building wealth. Fake asset number 12, your comfort zone. This last one is not a financial product. It is not something you can buy or sell, but it is perhaps the most expensive fake asset of all. The comfortable routine, the familiar job, the safe but stagnating financial pattern, the belief that things are fine enough even when the data says otherwise. The decision to not learn about money because it feels complicated or uncomfortable. Comfort costs money. It costs opportunity. It costs the version of your financial life that would have existed if you had been willing to be temporarily uncomfortable in pursuit of something better. Every person who has ever built real wealth, not inherited it, not lucked into it, but built it deliberately, has done so by consistently choosing growth over comfort. That choice is available to every single person watching this video. Here is where we land. In 2026, the cost of holding fake assets has never been higher. Inflation, economic uncertainty, and the complexity of the modern financial landscape mean that every dollar you waste on something that drains rather than builds your wealth is a dollar you desperately need working in your corner. The 12 fake assets we covered today, the depreciating car, the unaffordable house, the whole life insurance trap, the timeshare, the lottery, the luxury goods on credit, the technology upgrade cycle, the unused subscriptions, the overpriced education, the speculative gamble, the business that owns you, and the comfort zone. These are not abstract concepts. They are choices, and choices can be changed. Real wealth is not glamorous. Real wealth is not a $70,000 car or a designer wardrobe or a timeshare in Cancun. Real wealth is income-producing assets, low debt, growing equity, and the financial resilience to withstand whatever the economy decides to do next. Start today. Pick one fake asset from this list. Make a decision about it. That decision, multiplied over months and years, is how ordinary people build extraordinary financial lives. If this video opened your eyes, please share it. Someone in your life needs to hear this. Hit the like button because it helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Subscribe to Global Economy Today for more financial truth every week. And tell me in the comments, which of these 12 fake assets have you fallen for? No judgment. We have all been there. I will see you in the next one.